Welcome to From Scratch, the show where our guests share their journeys of success and failures. My name is Joko. I'll be your host. And today with me, I have Casey. Now, if these stories are something that inspire you, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and share them with somebody to inspire their day as well. Now, Casey, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, how's your day so far?
It's great. It's a good day.
Briefly, tell me what do you do now about your businesses, and then later we'll go deeper and dissect everything, so to say.
Sure. So I have 6 businesses.
Wow.
4 of them are Krema Coffee Roasters in Lockport, Plainfield, Tinley Park, and North Aurora.
Wow.
I have a coffee and wine bar in Oswego called Oak and Bean, and then wine and cheese company in Plainfield. Yeah.
Congratulations. That is amazing. Before we get into how you got into all of these endeavors, journeys, I want to get to know you as a person. Real quick, I just wanted to share with you that From Scratch is an independent podcast that is not backed by any investors. If you do enjoy these types of inspirational stories and would like to support the podcast, I will leave a donation link somewhere above or below this video where you can make your donations discreetly and safely. If, on the other hand, you have a business and would like to advertise during one of the episodes, I have 3 types of sponsorship packages that basically fit any type of budget for your business. Any financial contribution is highly appreciated, and I cannot thank you enough for your continued support. But you don't have to donate in order to support the podcast. All you have to do is just simply subscribe and share it with your community so that these meaningful stories will reach a wider audience. Thank you for listening. Now let's go back to the episode. Where'd you grow up? So tell me about life back then.
I grew up in a really small town in the middle of Michigan. Well, in the heart of the thumb, they call it.
Which one?
It's called Marlette.
Oh, I don't think I know it.
Pretty much no one does.
Yeah.
It's like a 2 stoplight town.
Okay.
We had
Stoplight
Yeah,
town.
one was a blinking light. We had hitching posts at our Rite Aid for Amish. Like it was very
Oh, wow.
rural farmland.
Okay.
I grew up on an old farm that we kind of just took over. We didn't operate it as a farm, but um, I was able to have some fun animals and
Okay.
things like that.
What kind
So
of animals did you guys keep?
I had horses, tons of barn cats and dogs, and
But you gotta have
yeah,
cats for the mice, right?
yeah. My dad was the one of the pastors in the community. I went to a really small school. I graduated with a class of 400. That actually 100, 400 was my total high school.
Oh, wow.
So
Small school.
everybody knew everybody. We all grew up together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any siblings?
I have one sister. She's 3 years younger than me.
Okay.
We were close when we were younger, and we've gotten closer again as
Mm.
we've gotten older. She just had a baby, so I'm
Congratulations,
an aunt
Auntie.
for the first time. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. That is awesome.
Yeah. But I had a really fun childhood.
Give me a fun day.
I mean, we would always just be outside exploring, building forts or, starting a fire, like campfire, not burning things down. But my whole childhood was spent outside playing.
Now give me a bad day. What did the bad day look like?
I would say as I got older, being in the middle of nowhere wasn't very fun. The nearest mall was an hour away. We had no grocery store for a while, so that was like a half an hour
Oh,
away.
wow.
Just kind of planning out your life was way different than what we experience here in Plainfield.
Yeah.
And it was a struggle, I think, at times to be a pastor's kid in a small town.
Why?
Everybody knows everything about you.
Mm.
And, everybody has these expectations that can make life difficult. My parents were always incredibly supportive, always and always have been. For whatever business adventure I decided I wanted to do that day, I was always trying to make my own money. I had a magazine that you could sell from as a kid, like 12. I was 12, I think.
Okay.
I would just get on my bike and head to people's homes and be like, "Do you need anything out of this magazine?"
Really?
Yeah, and which is crazy because no parent would allow that now, but
Mm.
in that time, it was like
A normal
fine. I'm
thing.
like, "Mom, I'm gonna be gone for 4 hours. I'm gonna go find people to buy this stuff." So,
Cosmetic stuff or what kind of
it was,
things?
like, just a bunch of stuff no one really needed, like, it was like a fan pull or,
Okay.
like, a towel or something, like, just all, like, home stuff, like tchotchkes.
Okay.
At the end of it, if I sold enough, I could get a prize, like, I could pick from
Oh, wow.
depending on how much stuff I sold, and I really wanted my own tent because my family and I would go camping multiple times a year, and I was looking for freedom to have my own
Mm,
tent. I had saved up for ever just, pedaling around selling this stuff, and I finally got the tent, and we went camping, and I was allowed to invite a friend, and I was like,
okay.
"I we have our own tent now." So,
It's like my private
yeah,
room.
yeah, I was like, "We've made it." And I remember, like, setting it up, I was so proud of it, and the first night, I wake up in the middle of the night, and I was like, "Why are my feet so cold?" And and I sat up, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, why?" So I put more socks on, and I go back to sleep, feet are still freezing, sit up again, put more socks on, go back to sleep. I wake up in the morning, and my mom's like, "Were your feet cold in the middle of the night?" And I was like, "How did you know?" This tent was the crappiest tent, and my feet broke through in the middle of the night.
So your feet were
So
basically outside.
yeah, I was outside, but when I sat up, obviously my feet weren't outside anymore, and I didn't figure it out. I was I was so mad because I'd worked so hard for this tent, and it, like, was
First night.
yeah, it was basically made out of paper, like, it was the crappiest tent.
I'm
So
imagining a raccoon just licking on your toes. Like, what is going on here?
right, just walking by, it
And
looked like the
right.
Wicked Witch of the West, where you're just or the East,
Oh man.
but you're just my parents have a picture of it, just my feet
Oh my
hanging
god, that's
out.
hilarious.
Yeah. So, I would say that was, like, the start of my entrepreneurial spirit,
Right.
and then I just duct taped it out of spite because I was like, "No, this is my tent and I will use this," so I'm just duct taping it. I just always have wanted independence,
Mm,
and financial freedom.
mm,
I've always wanted to be the boss. Not that I can't take direction or
right.
anything like that,
Right.
but wanted to lead.
Right. If somebody were to meet you back then,
Mhm.
who would they have met? What kind of a personality, character were you?
Friendly to everyone. I have an eclectic group of friends and always have. Probably a little bit more spicy
Oh,
back
okay.
then. Like, a little bit
Don't
more
talk to me
attitude,
type
right?
of
You're not gonna tell me what to do, you
I
know?
love it. I love it.
I would always ask my parents, like, if we had a babysitter coming over or if we were going somewhere, I was like, "So who's the boss?" Like,
Oh, shoot. Okay.
I needed to know where the
Right, right.
hierarchy was,
Right.
and who was gonna tell me what to do, who I would allow to tell me what to do.
I love it.
So,
Now, as a young entrepreneur, what were your dreams like back then? Like, did you have any specific dreams? Like, one day I'll become CEO of something.
I don't think I had an exact job title that I knew I was going to do. When I was younger, I just
Mm,
kept trying. Like, I sold Tupperware at 16 under my
wow.
mom. I would go do parties for, like, adults, make some cakes out of with Tupperware and,
Really?
show all these different things, and I think, like, that definitely helped with my skills of selling, and I think sales was probably something I knew I would be involved in. It would be something I did, but not necessarily the job that I didn't
Mm,
know the exact job that I would do.
right.
I like the interaction with people. I love getting to know my customers.
Mhm.
Like, everybody's so different, and everybody has something to offer.
Mm. Did you have any role models? Like any aunts, uncles?
I would say partially from my aunt Karen. She was, the vice president of the Kellogg's Foundation,
Okay.
and she got to travel the world, and she
Interesting.
would bring us little trinkets back from, China or Australia or
Interesting.
but I thought that she was such a powerhouse. And at the time, I mean, she had started as a secretary
Wow.
with the company and then took night classes and got her master's degree and moved up in the company. She was influential in my life since day one, pretty much.
Yeah. Did you go to any other schools? Did you do any jobs? Like, did you work anywhere to build on your sales experience and whatnot?
I worked at a grocery store. I was a nanny for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I would say all of those jobs were just me trying to make money
Mm.
and get experience. Our high school and middle school were a little bit weird with age ranges. So
Okay.
my mom homeschooled me for 4 years, but that allowed me to be a full time nanny during the day. And then I would come
Okay.
home and do my schoolwork when I
Wow.
was 13, which is young.
Yeah.
But I had gotten like my CPR certification, safe sitter. I was very determined to have a job, even though technically, I suppose at 13, you're not supposed to.
Right. But
But
the spirit count like
yeah,
that is
I would nanny from 6 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. And
wow.
for a newborn, a 4-year-old, and a 7-year-old.
At the same time.
Yeah. Yep.
So you were basically a couple years older than them.
Yeah, serious. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did that for, I want to say, a little over a year. And, you learn a lot.
Yeah,
It's all, every job that you have is experience.
absolutely.
I started serving at a local little diner,
Okay.
and I would say that was the start to finding my path in the hospitality industry.
What led you to be like, yep, that's the industry I want to be in?
It took me a while. I actually joined a domestic Peace Corps out of high school,
Okay.
and I did a lot of traveling with that. I was one of the first responders with Hurricane Katrina, setting up medical shelters,
Wow.
gutting out homes, setting up shelters in general. I was stationed in the old Navy base in Charleston, South Carolina.
Wow.
It was a bipartisan program created called AmeriCorps and Triple C that took us kind of all over
To help
to
and
help in different areas of the country.
okay.
We worked with Habitat for Humanity in Florida, worked at Panther Creek State Park
Wow.
in Tennessee, building trails and helping because state parks are so underfunded.
Mm.
We lived in Little Rock, Arkansas, tutoring kids English as a second language. Biloxi, Mississippi, even with her, like, still with Hurricane Katrina,
Mm.
a lot of Hurricane Katrina work in different ways, blitz builds with Habitat for Humanity. It was a whole year spent with 9 people on my
Wow.
team, and we just had our 20-year reunion, which is, like, crazy that
Time
it's been that
flies.
long.
Yeah. Wow.
But I was 18 when this, happened, and leaving a 2 stoplight town and seeing the world for the first time and how diverse and amazing that it is. It was life-changing. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was a ton of work. My goal was that, I mean, if you do the full year and it's 1,700 hours of community service,
Mm-hmm.
you get a $5,000 scholarship towards college. And so that was kind of another factor because I wanted to go to college but didn't have the money to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Wow.
well, I'll do this for a year and see what happens.
Yeah. You giving back to even less fortunate people, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So
I feel like it's always more rewarding for the person doing it than the
yeah,
person receiving it.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so
Not
too.
that we all do that kind of stuff to feel that way, but it is definitely a reward at the end of the day.
I couldn't agree
Yeah.
more. Is there any story that stands out?
For me, it was like in the shelters when we were living there with the people, we didn't have separate, there weren't workers' quarters and
Mm.
people who have lost everything. We're sleeping right next to them. I think it's to be able to create happiness, when people are in the darkest part of their life, and understanding what an impact you can make. We had a dance party one day,
Okay.
where just bringing together people with music, and I got to see people smile for the first time in probably months.
Mm.
They've lost literally everything,
Mm.
and for one moment they were able to just
Feel normal again.
peace. Yeah. It was just cool to be a part of that journey, and trying to get people placed and get their homes back to normal. We gutted out a lot of homes to
Wow.
to help rebuild and get that going. Worked with a lot of non-for-profits. We were liaisons with Red Cross and FEMA.
Okay.
Honestly, the whole experience was so rewarding.
Mm,
Um, Even when you're tutoring kids and you're watching them grow and having them get something for the first time and they're so proud of it, it's like, yes, I'm doing something worth
yeah.
that has value.
Mm,
You know, I think a lot of times we search for,
happiness
yeah,
and
and meaning.
meaning. Yes.
And I
Yeah.
feel like that was meaning for me. Like all of that entire year was meaningful.
It makes you appreciate what you have currently.
Yeah. And I think as an 18-year-old, the
Yeah.
perspective was mind blowing. I mean, there was definitely a time where I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, this is so much. Like, people are dying. They're not getting medication they need. I'm sleeping next to a murderer, like, that they finally discover is,
Mm,
and then he's not there anymore. He's like removed from the shelter.
yikes.
You know, like, it was just pure chaos in my mind. I called my mom and I was like, I don't know. This is so much right now.
Yeah.
And she's like, Casey, you have a place to come home to. You know, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
this is just a moment in your life,
Mm,
you know, but like they've lost everything. So like reframe your
mm-hmm.
focus and like
Push through.
yeah, absolutely.
Push through.
And it was I did need that perspective. And once I had it, I was like, we're good now.
When did you decide to take the leap of faith, so to say, and be like, I think I should pursue opening my own thing, or let me get this more experience? Like, walk me through that timeline.
I got out of AmeriCorps and I went to Lansing, Michigan.
Okay.
I'm actually adopted.
Okay.
My birth mom lived there.
Okay.
I have known I'm adopted since I can remember it. My parents always shared that,
Okay.
and I had a relationship with my mom, a very close relationship with my birth mom.
Mm-hmm.
I met her for the first time at 7, and pretty much after that
Wow.
would spend a lot of time with her. So I moved to Lansing, Michigan, and decided to go to school there
Mm-hmm.
for business because I figured that would be the next step for
Mm-hmm.
whatever I was going to try to do. I took a few classes and met this guy, and we decided to move to New Orleans and open up a restaurant with his family.
Oh, wow.
So I did that, and like some things, nothing is forever. So
Mm.
I ended up moving to Seattle at that point.
Okay.
I met my ex husband at that time. Well, he was soon to be my husband, I suppose, but
Right, right. So, okay, so he
yeah.
was different than the guy in New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he just kind of took me there. And then I decided, once we decided things were over, I was like, I'm going to move and I'm not moving anywhere I've ever lived. So I just packed up my stuff at like 4 in the morning
Oh,
and
wow.
whatever fit in my car is what came with me.
Wow.
I found an apartment that was fully furnished that I could rent month by month. And I was like, I'll just figure it out when I get there. And I got a serving job and ended up getting married. And he was in the military, in the Navy. So he was a nuclear electrician on submarines.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he was pretty smart and
Okay.
nerdy at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I spent like 5 years there in different serving positions. I worked for corporate. I worked for mom and pop.
Okay.
And probably my favorite was I worked at this little Italian restaurant called That's a Some Italian. And it was like right on the water and it was just absolutely beautiful.
Okay.
Like in the Puget Sound, I absolutely love the Pacific Northwest. I
Yeah.
still miss it. And then we got stationed here. So his whole family was from Lombard
Okay.
area. And then I got a serving job here when I moved here and I decided to go to College of DuPage. They have a hospitality degree.
Mm-hmm.
So I completed that. I originally tried to escape it. I tried
Why?
to go into physical therapy,
Okay.
thinking that it was just more stable. And then I discovered that that was too boring for me, that I actually really love the craziness.
Right.
And so I completed my degree with that, got a job at Perry's Steakhouse in Oak Brook and worked there for some time. Did my externship there.
Okay.
And then I had a customer recruit me to Giordano's, which is a weird
Is that
transition.
that's a pizzeria, isn't it?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. They recruited me for management at Giordano's,
Okay.
and I had never done that before, and I was trying to grow all of my experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really nervous about the change because you're going from a high-end steakhouse where you're making good I was making good money
Mm-hmm.
to a pizza
Right.
restaurant. You know, it was kind of
Feels like a
like
downgrade,
yeah,
right?
yeah, I was like, I don't know, but I did it. And I would say I learned what I needed to learn there to do what I do now.
Can you give me some specifics?
Just managing people, scheduling, ordering, understanding food costs and par levels and operations. As a server, you don't deal with any of that
Mm.
stuff. So this was a next level of, restaurant management that I wouldn't have learned otherwise.
So you were basically thrown into that, so to say, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. And I was ready for the challenge.
Wow.
I've always been driven to make more, do more, learn
Mm.
more. That was a necessary step.
Mm. At that point, did you have a desire to start your own thing, or was it more like starting to feel complacent? So let me switch it up a little bit.
I had been talking about a coffee shop forever with my friends. I would say like Seattle was really a huge inspiration for that coffee
How so?
lifestyle.
Okay.
I mean, it's the birthplace,
Really?
of the grunge
I
coffee
know
scene.
nothing.
Yeah, I mean, Starbucks started there. There's so many micro coffee shops in that area
Mm.
and understanding how special they were, and when I moved here, that was a rough move. There was nothing. I still have like Facebook reminders being like, my post being like, there's only Dunkin' and Starbucks here. What's going on?
Right.
I was so mad. I was driving to Chicago to get coffee beans because I wanted local roasters. I had built out a business plan already with one of my classes from college
Okay.
and kind of had an idea of what I wanted for it, but hadn't made any like,
Commitments.
yeah, any commitments. So I got to the point with Giordano's that I wasn't growing at the rate I wanted to, and I felt like they were holding me back. I got sick of the men getting promoted for doing less. Not that every man did. I'm
Right.
just saying in general,
The unfairness, I see.
there was like a lot of discrepancies with that, and I wanted more. And I knew that if I was going to get more in life, it was going to be by something that I did. It was 4th of July, 2017. I had gotten divorced in February after being married for 10 years.
Wow.
I had turned 30 in April. I had taken my dream wine trip to Napa. I
Mm.
took myself there and I got back and it's July 4th. We're waiting for fireworks at the Bolingbrook Golf Club and my friend was like, "Why don't you do it? Why don't you open up a coffee shop?" And I was like, maybe I will." And like the next week, the space of Crema Plainfield became available. We're doing it. And it's kind of just all history from there. But
Wow.
I was at a point where I didn't feel like I had anything to lose. I felt like Plainfield needed a local coffee shop. I believe every town does. And I was done being told that I wasn't worth more.
Damn.
I was going to determine my own value.
Amen to that.
I took everything that I've ever saved in my entire life and had this awesome girl. Her name is Hannah. She worked at Chase. I had gone to another local bank in town and they were like, no, too big of a risk. Like, we don't want to.
For a loan.
Yeah, I was like, could I get a loan? I was looking for like a $40,000 loan, which is nothing.
Mm.
I had a business plan. I had reasons why they should have allowed it,
Mm.
but it's okay. It was just another reason why I was like, I am going to do this and you're not
Nobody
gonna
can
be in
stop
my
me.
way. Yeah. And,
I love it.
I went to Chase. Hannah helped me out. She's still actually a great friend of mine. I just made it happen. I don't think that I knew everything I needed to know, but I did have people that were so willing to help me
Mm,
and wanted to see me succeed, even if they didn't know me.
mhm.
It makes you know that there is good in the world. It's still around. There are people who just want to see people succeed and do well. And I want to be that person in other people's lives because of it. But I had people that were like, "Oh, well, I know how to do this or I know how to do that." I had one girl come in and go, "You don't have a website yet. I know how to build a website. I know you don't have any money because you just opened." And she put together a website for me for free.
That's amazing.
And I was like, "Who are these people?" Like little angels coming into my
Right.
life, you know? And I did a lot of the work myself and with friends to get that place going.
So after the divorce and after all of that and that short period of time,
Mhm.
why not go back to Michigan?
I personally stopped loving Michigan pretty much the day I turned 18. I just wanted more in life. I wanted more
Okay.
opportunity,
Okay.
and that's why I moved out. Other than going to Lansing for a little bit, but I never wanted to go back to my hometown. I just felt like it was too close-minded
Mm,
and really just stuck in a negative space for me.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I
Challenges are more fun
yeah.
anyway, right?
Right. I don't do anything that is normal, I don't think. The normal thing to do, the white picket fence,
Right.
it's never been me. So,
Now you have Crema.
we opened in
Y-
December of 2017.
So you're working there with you, friends helping out and whatnot.
Yeah.
How did that feel at that point, knowing, okay, I finally did it. I have my own coffee shop now.
It was surreal. I mean, I think how are people gonna find us or, are people going to come here? And I really had stifled my dream with that. I don't know why. I just was like, "Well, I'm gonna work there every day, and, maybe I'll hire one other person, and that'll just be my life." Like, I was thinking 7 to 3. I was like, "I already work more hours than that in general, like, this won't be a big deal." And then it was, like, a week before Crema was opening and, like, social media was kind of blowing up, and I was like, "I should hire people. I don't think it's just gonna be me working here."
Yeah.
So, I hired a few people and continued to hire more and more people, and
Right. That's amazing.
yeah, it's just been an awesome evolution, to what Crema is today, to me, to the
Mm,
community, to my staff. My ultimate goal was creating a community
mm-hmm.
safe space for people.
Yeah.
In a world so divided, there needs to be a place where everyone knows that they can come and have kindness and respect.
Besides the loan, what were some of the challenges you faced well, before opening doors?
Not really knowing timelines with build outs, and I hired my own contractors, didn't schedule them at like right away, and they were like, "Hey, we can't actually do this without them doing this first."
Oh.
Because I had no idea what I was doing, but I was rose-colored glasses all the way. I was like, "I've got this. I'll figure it out." I mean, it was difficult, but I think just the excitement of it all, it's
Mm,
not like it was defeating. It was like the entire process was exciting,
mm.
even though there are challenges. I mean,
You were basically learning as you go, right?
yeah, flying by the seat of my pants. I think a lot of entrepreneurs
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
You're like, "Well, we're gonna make it work no matter what, so we'll figure it out."
I know you didn't hate what you do,
Mhm.
obviously,
Yeah.
because you grew it exponentially, but you must have had rougher days.
If we weren't hitting those numbers, it would be so stressful. You're watching it like the stock market,
Mm,
just constantly refreshing, seeing how many people are walking in the door and wondering what you can do to get them in. Opening in December sucks because the weather. I mean, I was making videos, I'm like plowing the sidewalk and I'm like, you could still come and get coffee. Like
mm,
one of the hardest parts I find of operations and owning a business is managing your employees. I
mm,
definitely needed a lot more growth and and learning that is humbling, and I'm still growing as a leader. I'm learning better communication and hiring to fit your position rather
Mm,
than fill your position.
interesting.
People that are passionate about it instead of, "I
Just
don't like
collecting
coffee."
a paycheck.
Right, yeah. I'm like, "You need to like coffee. Like, I need you to care." Those are hard things to learn. Letting go of an employee, that's never fun.
Can you share with me some tips on how you overcame those things?
The interview process is very important, and we've all been taught these generic questions. If you have a customer that's angry, what are you going to do? And are you actually learning about that person, or are you just getting a pre-recorded answer because they know you're going to ask that question? I think intentional interview questions are very important, and actually getting to know them will save you a lot of trouble
Mm,
in the future. And everybody has their own interview questions that pertain to the particular job that you're hiring
right.
for, but being more intentional, asking what their favorite coffee is. Do they have a favorite coffee region? This was not my interview question, but it became my interview question.
Mm-hmm.
When you vacuum at home, do you vacuum in a zigzag pattern or is it straight? And that
How
seems completely irrelevant
interesting.
to
Okay.
what you're doing, but I wanna
Yeah.
know, do you have any responsibilities at home that involve you learning how to clean,
Interesting.
and keeping your space clean? It's important in the restaurant industry to be clean and
Yeah.
to make sure that there safety measures are taken to make sure there's no cross contamination and your towels are clean and sanitizer is properly, put in. But those questions about their home life often give me insight of what kind of worker or what kind of skills they already have.
That is a very interesting approach. That's asking the right question without asking the exact, because people can get offended sometimes,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Very interesting approach. I've never heard of that.
That was actually from Tammy Barvian from Hazel Marie's.
Okay.
They didn't think about that question before they got there. This isn't like
Yeah.
something that they've already prepared for.
Yeah. Like my 5-year plan.
Right, yeah, like,
Right.
I am not asking that,
Yeah.
like, I'm like, throw that all out the window and start asking intentional questions.
Anything when it comes to like purchase, buy equipment and
Mhm,
whatnot, like source coffee, like you said.
mhm.
How did you overcome those?
Well, I'll say, Chris from 10 Drops.
Okay.
I had been picking his brain, and he was a huge resource for me opening up Crema. I had gone in and been like, "Hey, I'm not trying to step on your toes, but I really wanna do a coffee shop." They hadn't had their coffee shop that they have now built out, but he was so open and shared so much about equipment and the quality and how important it is.
Wow.
And then I sourced it. Uh,
Right.
and I don't feel like I would have known that prior.
Right. Before you opened up Crema, he
Mhm.
was already
They had been roasting, yeah, and
okay.
I would go there for a coffee
Right.
once I found them out about
Yeah.
being in the area, I was like, "Heck yeah, a roaster, I'm so excited."
Yeah.
Everybody roasts differently and everybody has their own style.
I couldn't agree
Yeah,
more.
but he was very helpful with that.
Competition, which I understand. It's sort of yes, right?
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean that you can't grow together.
Absolutely.
That doesn't mean that you can't learn from their mistakes, that they will learn from your mistakes.
Mhm.
That, like there is, you have a lot more in common with that business than with any other business.
Yeah. I mean, we still text about coffee prices and what's going on in the market, the insanity of tariffs and what it's done to us this year specifically.
Yeah,
But being able to have someone that I can text and talk to that knows exactly what I'm going through
it's
is awesome.
invaluable. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just really nice to have that community.
At what point did you decide one is not enough? I want more stores.
Well, it actually started with um me getting wine and cheese 2 years after opening up Crema.
Okay.
I was going to wine and cheese to just kind of do some work because you can't work in your coffee shop easily because you always see people and then you start talking and then
Mm,
you're like, I'm not getting work done. So I started going to wine and cheese. I've always loved wine. I took college courses about wine, trips,
mhm,
um, and fine dining. Knowing your wine is really important.
yeah,
At that time, it's funny because I thought I knew a decent amount about wine
okay.
and was quickly humbled.
You don't
You
know
know
everything.
something, but it's not everything. And I'm still learning. I'm nowhere near. Like,
Mm,
I feel like it is a never-ending journey, which is so appealing. And I continue to grow. I got my level 1 some, and I'm hoping to go for my level 2
okay.
in
I
the
have
next
no
few
idea what
months.
those levels entail, to be honest with you. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's like the knowing the type of wines, right?
Yeah, regions, growing. The master som is level 4. I'm not looking for that, but it's basically like a master's degree. I mean,
Okay.
it takes
Wow.
a lot of time, and I don't think skilled enough as far as, like, my palate. Like,
Mm,
some people just have an amazing palate. I can definitely identify, things in wine, but some people are meant to be
right.
soms. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I understand where my place is, but I want it to be
Yeah.
I wanna
Challenge
know more.
myself.
Right, yeah. I always wanna know more,
I love
so
it.
and the same thing is with coffee. I mean, we're talking about plants that are growing
Yeah,
in different regions of the world, and it starts with the farmer.
true,
Both those crops are labors of love, and
true.
when it ultimately comes to you in your cup or in your wine glass, so much has been put into it, and it's really a gift to be able to enjoy a good glass of wine or a good cup of coffee. Life should
Mm,
be full of new
yeah,
experiences.
yeah,
And if I can be a part of a new experience for you, that's a win for me.
yeah. You acquired wine and cheese. How did that happen?
I found out that they were selling and
Okay.
I decided to.
Were they in a tough financial spot, or was it not enough business? Did you?
They had already ran it for 15 years
Okay,
and they were kind of retiring
interesting,
from that business and figuring what their next chapter was going to be.
interesting.
Living in New Orleans, had experienced this amazing wine bar called Bacchanal,
Okay,
and it is still my favorite place. It's a wine shop. You go in, you grab your bottle. It's very chill. They have glasses. You grab them. There's not table service, and then you go out into this garden, and there's a live band playing.
okay.
And this is what life is for. I had like 8 girls that I was with. We're all just
Wow.
sitting there talking about life, sipping on wine, listening to amazing music. And I was like, I could do this every day of my life. This is so perfect. It's so peaceful.
Mm,
So I was like inspired by that and I wanted
okay,
to create something like that here.
okay. How do you go about buying a business? Like, what is? Because you can't just go like, okay, here's money, give me the keys,
Yeah, I
right?
mean, a loan, you have to get a loan, you have to have financials and things like that, a lot of information, collateral if you have it.
Did you do any research about the business before making the decision? Like, let me look at their financials, let me see
Yeah,
uh
you have to.
debts or anything, stuff like that.
Yeah, normally sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, and then you can look over everything. You just can't share it afterwards, which
Obviously,
obviously
right.
makes sense.
Yeah,
And I just felt like I had so much to give for that space, and I was excited to do it, you
that
know?
is amazing.
And it's transformed quite a bit. I mean, they had it for 15 years, I've had it for
Wow.
6.
Wow.
I did have terrible timing because I
COVID.
got it right before COVID, and I closed it down for a month to remodel and then opened for a month and then COVID hit. And then I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
what is going on? I remember being told like everybody has to close their businesses. I was at Crema because that happened in the morning. And I remember sending my staff that was there. I'm like, take what you need, grab a gallon of milk, get flour if you need to make I don't know, I was just planning for the end of the world, it kind of felt like
Right.
at the time, and people are talking to me and all you're hearing is want, 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 want. Like you can't
Mm,
even and I'm just like, everybody take supplies that you need to get through whatever this is. if it's 2 weeks, which, that was what we were originally told, or if it's a year or
Yeah.
whatever.
Crazy
Uh,
times, man.
yeah.
Holy
And I
smokes.
was like, just looking around being like, I have only opened for 1 month at Wine and Cheese, and I've only been open for 2 years at Crema. Like, what am I doing? And you don't have anybody to call. Nobody's been through this before. It was the most insane time of my life trying to figure out what we do. I had just lost my birth mom to cancer the day I bought Wine and Cheese, actually. And so I was already still reeling from that
Mm,
and trying to figure out my life. And then it was like, okay, well, am I going to lose everything? Like everything that I've put into this? And I went home that night and I just like sat there and I was like, what am I going to do?
mm.
I had already had a little bar built. So we strapped it on the outside of Crema. Everybody wore a mask and it was skeleton crew of like 2 people and a baker, and people could come up outside and get their drink.
You found a way around it.
Yeah, you do. You adapt.
Yeah.
And I think we just kept trying random things. We were like, "Okay, do you want a gallon of milk, a loaf of bread, and a bag of coffee? Here's a," we're just trying anything that would keep people interested and keep
Yeah.
people coming.
Yeah.
I mean, we bake everything from scratch, so we had that ability to make beautiful sourdough bread,
Yeah.
and flour was hard to find on the shelves.
Toilet paper.
Yeah, we were trying to find toilet
Like,
paper. I got so much of that in. I mean, Mojo's was giving it away with every like to go order. You would
wow.
get a roll of toilet paper.
Really?
Yeah, it was
That was
hilarious.
crazy times if you think about
Yeah,
it.
I'd be
Like,
like, what are we doing? I look back and I'm like, what in the world was that? But Wine and Cheese I had found, thank God for Amazon
mm,
still operating. I had found these little like to go boxes. They were tiny.
uh-huh.
And I found these little glass vials, and we were pipetting wine into them and labeling them.
Oh,
And then
wow.
people would pick up a wine tasting kit from the back, and
Interesting.
then we would Zoom call and talk about the wines and taste them together. And people could buy them if they wanted, if they liked them. Because everybody has their whole life on the line. Every
Yeah.
small business owner, nobody starts a small business easily and without sacrifice.
Now, two businesses.
Hmm.
Can you give me like a quick overview of when you opened up the other Kremlin locations
Yeah.
and the sixth business as well?
Sure. During COVID, at the tail end, I had found out about a place in Oswego, and that was available. One of my wine managers at the time, Connie, I asked her if she was interested in being my business partner for Oak and Bean,
Okay.
and she was like, yes. So that took us 2 years to get open. In that time that I thought would be a 6-month project, Lockport had contacted me and said that they had a space and they wanted Crema to go into it.
Okay.
I opened up Lockport before I opened up Oak and Bean, even though I started Oak and Bean a year and a half prior.
Wow.
But they both opened within a month of each other, which was
That's amazing.
challenging.
Yeah.
Tinley Park and North Aurora, same thing.
When
Um,
you say they contacted you, what do you mean?
the business planner of the city,
Okay.
they contacted me.
Like they wanted to have a coffee shop.
They wanted Crema to be there.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
That is
it
amazing.
was awesome. Tinley Park did the same thing. One of their staff members, city planners, had lives in this area and had been to Crema and was like, "This would be amazing in Tinley Park."
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's a
Good
huge
for you,
compliment.
Casey.
Yeah,
Wow. Yes, absolutely.
yeah. Everybody that I've worked with, it's been awesome.
Wow.
We just took the leap. I mean, I opened up 4 businesses in 2 years,
Wow,
and
that
that
is,
was a lot. I would not
I
recommend
bet.
it. I took this past year, I was like, "We're not
Wow.
doing anything. I need a
Wow.
break. I don't wanna build anything right now. I'm okay. I'm happy." I can't say that I'm, like, not thinking about other things,
Obviously, your
but
mind is going 100 miles an hour.
yeah, I am excited that I gave myself, like, a year to just operate and
Wow.
finesse things. I hope we can continue to grow, but I know
Right.
that without proper things in place, it won't happen well. And I learned a lot with the expansion of Crema and what to do, what not to do.
Can you share some examples?
I feel like your culture develops in year 2. for your businesses.
Okay.
And it has been proven for every single one of my places that year 2 seems to find its sweet spot with the people that I've hired or have left. But the first 2 years are challenging.
Mm,
And you think you have people in place that are going to be your key players, and they are for the moment, but they're not what you really need.
mm,
And then all of a sudden it's like year 2 people step in and like this culture develops and everybody starts like liking each other and working with each other, and it's great to see. I think I just forget how difficult the startup is. I've definitely gotten to the place where copy paste on menu and par levels, and but that took time too, is really honing in and building all these
mm.
processes and SOPs to make sure that
What is an SOP?
standard operating procedures
Okay.
to ensure that everything is done the way that we want it to be.
Yeah.
But I have amazing people working for me. I have an amazing team, an amazing leadership team that I truly couldn't do any of this without.
Since 2017,
Mhm.
8 years, six businesses. That's a business and a half per year, so to say.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right? That is amazing. Like, I'm just blown away here. How does it feel? Like, is that what you thought success would look like, so to say?
I don't know if I feel successful, which sounds weird maybe to some. I don't know when I'll feel it. I'm proud of what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm done. And
Okay.
so I don't know if I'll feel more successful when I feel like I have accomplished everything that I wanted to accomplish,
Interesting.
but it's also what drives me
Mm.
to do more.
It doesn't even feel like you're done yet,
Yeah,
right? Is there any plans for the future you would like to share with me?
I have looked into franchising,
Okay.
meeting with some companies that know how to do that.
I'm sure there's a certain way to do it properly
Yeah,
and not shoot yourself in the foot, kind of,
right.
right?
Whatever I do, I want it to be successful. Like
Mm,
I want it to be put together well and operated well, and if it's going to be done, it's got to be perfect.
mm.
I wouldn't mind one more location to operate, but
Crema or
Crema.
that feels like your baby,
It
doesn't
is
it?
my baby. Yeah. I mean, it's my creation from top to bottom, you
Mm,
know. I'm not sure what the future holds, but it'll happen when it's supposed to, I always feel.
yeah.
So,
Where can people find out about you and your businesses? Like, where can they find out more info?
just cremacoffeeroasters.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram as Crema Coffee Roasters as well. All the locations have their own separate Facebook and Instagram, so it'll be Crema Coffee Roasters Tinley Park,
Okay.
Lockport, Plainfield, North Aurora.
What type of advice did you receive?
I don't know if I received advice necessarily, but more so encouragement.
Okay.
Like, my parents have never said that whatever entrepreneurial thing I wanted to do, they never downplayed it. They're like, "We support you. Figure it out." My friends and family, when I told them I was doing opening up a business or whatever, they were like, "That's awesome. You're gonna do a great job." Like, and it was never negative. It was,
Mm,
I think it was just the support for me,
interesting. That's
that just propelled me forward. That meant the most.
what kind of advice would you give then to somebody that's, well, not somebody that wants to open six businesses in 6, 7 years? Because I know that must have been a
It's a
hair
lot.
puller,
Yeah.
but it's a lot. But what kind of advice would you give to some,
If you don't start it, it's always gonna be a dream, first off. Secondly, is don't listen to anybody else's negativity. People will tell you. I mean, people told me, "I'm so afraid for you." Well, then you don't believe in me.
mm,
You know, like,
mm,
don't be afraid. Don't put your fear on projected on me. I tell people that if they can look at themselves and answer when the last time they failed themselves was, then maybe rethink it. But if you're a true entrepreneur,
mm-hmm.
you're never going to stop, following and pursuing your dreams. Come up with a solid business plan, research it, take your time, and get it done.
It does take a little bit of a risk,
It is worth it.
but absolutely worth it.
Even if it doesn't work out the exact way that you wanted to, life is so short. And I think, like, after losing people in my life that have meant so much to me, you discover what really matters, and it's your quality of life. And life moves on with or without you.
Mm.
And if you are not taking the risks to make your dreams come true, you're doing yourself a disservice.
What would your 10-year-old self, if she were to enter the room here,
Mhm.
what do you think she would tell you? Like, would she be proud of you?
Yes. I think she would be proud of me. I feel like my 10-year-old self was, like, unstoppable, just not jaded by anything. She might tell me that there's some decisions that I've made that were stupid, but as far as business goes, she would be proud of me.
What would you tell her?
Never stop. Don't let anybody tell you different. You're worth it.
What would you tell your future self?
Ooh. Um, balance. Balance is important.
Interesting.
Understanding that I'm only as good. My businesses are only as healthy as I am.
That is a very good point
So balance is important.
because you are your business at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
You're a very thoughtful person. Like that's how a character is built. At least that's what I think.
Mhm.
If you've seen the good and the bad, if you've
Yeah.
lived through the good and the bad.
Right. You can't have perspective otherwise.
No, a lot of people don't understand that
Yeah.
because they think, no, it's always going to be good. No, it's not.
Right. But it's absolutely the attitude that we choose to have when the bad is there, you know, when you're exhausted
Yeah.
and you're defeated, and just being able to pick yourself back up and keep going. And it's a lot easier to be negative than it is to be positive. But I do believe that having a positive attitude, those rose colored glasses are really important.
Yes.
It gets you far.
I would like to close the show with these remarks. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your story, being upfront and honest with your experiences and everything. So
Yeah. Thank you for having me. This has been awesome.
it was a pleasure.
Yeah.
If Casey's story inspired you, make sure that you share it and with somebody to inspire their day as well. Subscribe, and I will see everybody in the next episode.